What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some public match domination on Nuketown. We end up going, I think it's like 47-7 or something like that at the end of the game. So I hope you guys do enjoy that in the background, as today we want to be talking about the first 3 official franchises that have announced their full rosters heading into the upcoming Call of Duty World League franchise league. I'm not exactly sure if it's the CDL or what. So I don't know. These teams are very interesting. We have kind of 2 teams that I'm really kind of excited to see what they're going to do, and one that just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it, as we have the Paris franchise coming out with their roster with Kismet, Phantoms, Zed, Dens, Shocks, Luca, and Breezy. Now, Josh, that's a lot of names. Yeah, there's 7 of them there. They announced a 7-man roster. 7 of them. Now, you can roster 7 to 10 players. But as we've talked about before with, the franchise league, those 2 substitutes don't want to play as substitutes. Like, these are going to be for those lower tier pros that aren't really at the top anymore to kind of just be there. Or you have random amateurs that would rather play technically on a pro team and not have to fight through all the amateur stuff. So, I don't know. Personally, I would never want to be a substitute. I always want to be a starter. I want to be in the game, helping the game be determined. I don't want to be on the bench. I don't want to be just a practicing partner. I want to be that starting player. So I don't understand why, they went with 7-man. Now, if it was like total of 7 with like 2 substitutes, okay. Or like up to 7, just say, makes sense, right? Substitutes need to happen in case of like visa issues, or someone gets sick, or if they get hurt, or whatever, right? But this one just doesn't make sense. So you have kind of a global team here, where you have Kismet and Phantoms as USA, or Americans, I should say. Zed is from the UK. Dens, Shocks, and Luca all from Australia. And then Breezy is French for a Paris team. So you look at the team individually. You have Kismet probably as your best player here. Then, like, all the other ones are kind of at that second tier, like lower tier pro status, I would consider it. But you don't really have a good team here. Like, obviously, probably some of the bigger names are going to be on those bigger, organizations. But still, this, like, for the amount of hype that Paris put around their team, I expected so much more out of these guys. So, kind of last impressions before we move on is just, this team's just weird. You have 3 different nationalities. Now, they all speak the same language, but especially with accents and in-game and their overall skill, I don't know, I'm not a fan of this team. But on to the second team, we're going to have London. Now, this is one of the teams I'm actually super excited about to see. So you have this one headlined by Scraps, Wuskin, Dylan, Jerd, and Rated, with coaches Joe, who is a former pro player, long time in the European scene, Shane, who was Reciprocity's coach last year, and Dominate, who I don't remember exactly what team he was on, but he was on some team as a coach last year. Obviously, Joe, former pro player, now turned coach. I don't know if he just didn't get an offer or if he decided to go to coaching, but Joe now in that coaching role. This one obviously has got pretty much all the European stars on it. I'm not gonna lie, especially Scraps, Dylan, and Wuskin. Those kind of 3, along with Jerd and Rated. That's gonna be a good team, especially with a slower paced game, with a slower paced AR like Rated, with 3 pretty decent coaches behind them. This one's gonna be pretty interesting. Now, I'm not sure if they're gonna have like Joe and Shane as their substitutes as well. Just to kind of, include that 7, like, meet that requirement of that 7 players. But, it's gonna be interesting for sure. And I'm actually, London is a team that, every time they go over to the UK and have an event, their crowd is always the best. And I really hate to say that as, you know, an American, but, you know, our crowds suck compared to them. I mean, we have a couple of chants. You know, we only really get hype in those, you know, really down to the last second moments, you know, close games. Whereas they're just crazy all the time, chanting throughout the match, chanting at random things, ranting at, or like yelling at the random like stage hands to give the bowling, or not the bowling ball, the not bowling ball, wow, the beach ball, there we go, to one of the players and him to hit it in the crowd, and then they go nuts. I mean, you watch any European event, you can tell that they're passionate about their sports, like big time. So European has always been rather crazy as far as, you know, crowds go, and not just esports, but in pretty much all the other sports as well. But like I said, yeah, super excited about Call of Duty London, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna, you know, end up doing this year. But on to the last team of this episode, not really episode, but of the video, until other teams kind of get announced. We have New York City, and this one is another pretty good, interesting team. We're going to have this one headlined by Zuma, Attach, Temp, Accuracy, and Zero. So, oh boy, we got some young talent, we got some old friends, we got some chemistry on recent rosters, and then we got the wild card as far as this one goes. So this one's actually really exciting. So you got Zuma and Attach, who have been a duo forever. Obviously, they went their separate ways last year for a little while, but obviously they've been longtime friends there. Zuma and Attach and Accuracy were teammates on that EG lineup at the end of the year. And then Zuma and Zero have a chemistry from the phase time last year. And then Temp kind of gets thrown into this as one of that young stars that obviously has tons of talent. But hasn't really been in the right situation to really win as of yet. But this one is also coached by Revan and JP Krez. Now, if you don't know who JP Krez is, Revan's been, he's been a player, he's been a coach for a couple of years. He's been a commentator, analyst. He went to that side. But JP Krez has been always a stats guy for MLG. So I don't know if he founded COD Stats or what, but he's been in stats pretty much his entire career. So he is, I believe, the stats guy over at New York, along with Revan being that main head coach. But this one is excited. Obviously, Zuma and Attach back together. Attach really wanted to play with Accuracy. Got the young gun and Temp, and Zero provides what he does in that slower pace. I think he's an AR, I believe. So anyway, but this one's pretty excited. But obviously, these are only 3 out of the 12 names. We still got 9 more to go. As far as these aren't even really like the big name teams either. I mean, New York and London are 2 big teams, but I mean, you still got like Chicago, Dallas, both LA teams. So we got a little ways to go, a lot more rosters to cover. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think about these rosters. If I had to give them probably like an overall tier ranking system, I'd probably put London and New York at that like really good team, but I don't think they're gonna be great. But so like really good but not great. And then Paris, I see bottom of the table. Honestly, like they're a decent team, probably could cause some upsets, but overall doesn't see it. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.